Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Columbia City. Today is a weird one because we're not really basing what we're building off of anything at all. I didn't even know what I was going to be building coming into this. I will be including some Google Earth, but that's just for the general area, not the specific build we do, because the specific build we do sort of makes no sense, but I love it. So today we're working on this peninsula. I think you can basically see where it is. I'm not really going to give you an overview. It's to the north of downtown, and this is going to be an area this was in, like, somebody in the comment section basically said, oh wow, look at this peninsula. It looks just like Stanley Park in Vancouver, Canada. Maybe you should build a park there. And I realized, oh wait, it does. I was just gonna build some dumb upscale suburbs here, but I could do that somewhere else. Having a park here makes so much more sense. It's just gonna be a huge park with lots of different stuff, mostly just very wooded, and it's gonna have like a trail near the water. It's gonna be amazing. Lots of trails going through and roads going through. It's gonna be great. But then we're gonna have this main highway that sort of goes through the main core of the park to cross the bridge on the other side. This highway is gonna be bigger than the highway in the park in Vancouver. But generally, we're gonna be basing this off of Stanley Park. And I just wanted to thank Julian so much for this suggestion, because it's going to be huge for the series. I would not have thought of doing that. I don't think, at least, because that thought had never occurred to me. Like, Stanley Park was always really cool, but I was never, like, oh wow, why don't I add this to Columbia City? But yeah, this is the first real, like, Vancouver inspiration. I know you guys have been wanting it for a while. And it's finally here. We've got some Vancouver inspiration in Columbia City, because obviously Columbia City is based off of the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, mostly Seattle at this point, but I do want to just integrate a bunch of aspects of Vancouver into this city. It's not going to be Vancouver exactly. Like, Vancouver is very distinct. It's just covered in these, like, glass skyscrapers, and it's not exactly like Seattle. And it's got a different transit system, etc. I'm not going to be basing it off of Vancouver. I'm going to be doing some stuff that's inspired by Vancouver in a bunch of different areas. And I've got a couple of plans for that. But mostly it's inspired by Seattle, as you might know. But there are some areas I really want to have Portland be the inspiration for, like the area across the river from, or I guess across the bay from where we're working right now on the other side of the bridge. That's going to be a Portland-inspired area. So, I mean, that's if we ever get there. This is a pretty big series, so I don't even know how far we're going to get. I'm just building and enjoying, basically. But yeah, let's actually check this out here, because I'm placing some of these mossy rocks by Gray Flame. These are totally overpowered. I used them in the last episode when we built the light rail station, and they were amazing then, because I was able to just sort of put them on the sides of the light rail station, and it looked really cool just having them be the cliffs, very Pacific Northwesty. And I figured, okay, why don't we just do that here as well instead of having some, cliff textures? And they look really good. You'll see they look a little bit awkward right now, but as we continue, I get the trees to work a little better. And then also Gray Flame released a pretty awesome pack of conifers on the workshop, which is perfect for what I'm working on here. So you'll see those in a future episode, because they actually came out after I recorded this. I recorded this about a week ago at the time that I'm recording this audio, so a little bit dated, but still pretty relevant. I'm recording a little bit in advance right now. I've got episodes up until this coming Thursday recorded for you guys, but I just have to edit them. And I usually try to edit videos after I upload them, or I don't know. Okay, that didn't quite work. After I upload the previous video, I edit a video, but doing that allows me to basically get a little bit of feedback, at least, from, because I ask questions in my videos, right? I don't just upload a video and just not ask questions for feedback or anything. Like, I actually ask for feedback in my videos, and you guys give feedback, and it's great. Which, by the way, if you have any feedback, always please give it, because I am always looking for ways to improve my videos, especially for the upcoming revamp of the channel. But yeah, no, basically, I like to be able to respond to stuff like in the next video, after a video comes out, rather than waiting a couple videos. It makes interaction a lot better, and that's why I changed the way Patreon early access works. Now you get early access to a video once I'm finished with it, not once the previous video comes out, just because that allows me to be a little bit more connected with you guys. But yeah, another thing I decided, at least for now, I'll give you updates on this, but when the rebrand happens sometime around a month from now, where I basically just change the style of my videos a bunch and my graphics, etc., and just try to, give the channel a fresh feel, I'll probably be switching to uploads twice a week, at least at first. I do want to develop a consistent upload schedule that I can stick to for like the medium term, but in the way beginning, I want to just focus on really perfecting the videos themselves, and once I get used to the workflow, because it's going to be a totally new workflow, then I will upload 3 times a week, hopefully. But yeah, twice a week is still a lot for like half-an-hour videos, but I don't know if they'll still be a half an hour. I'm considering, you can tell me if this would be a terrible idea, I'm considering cutting out the like live gameplay entirely, and instead basically doing commentary over cinematic shots once I finish a build, where I basically finish a build, and then I would do cinematic shots either with the cinematic camera or literally just on the ground, like totally stationary in my first person camera mod, where it's like the same amazing views that you have in the live play, but with much higher quality. And I'd be able to select exactly what I want to show you and be a little bit more concise with that. That's what I'm thinking. And if it really doesn't work out, maybe we can switch back. But live play is going to get extensively harder as we move forward, simply because the frame rate in Columbia City is not really that good yet, or not yet. It's not terrible yet, but it's already not very good, if that makes sense. I think that's how you phrase that. But yeah, no, it's Columbia City's frame rate it's gonna get really bad. Let's just say that. New Windsor's frame rate is already like 6 frames when looking at the entire city, and Columbia City is supposed to be way bigger than New Windsor. Yeah, and I've also detailed the city a lot more than New Windsor. Basically, you should expect the frame rate to totally tank in Columbia City, and there's no way I'll be able to be doing live plays at some point. I don't know when that is, but probably pretty soon. So I figure we can already get used to not having those and try something else. So, I mean, if you really, really, really want me to continue live plays, let me know. But I feel like I have some alternatives that will work just as well, but will be higher quality, more concise, and more enjoyable for you guys. Yeah, I'm just trying to think out loud here, because you're the ones watching the videos, so it's your feedback that I really do want to listen to. Obviously, like, I'll make choices in the end, but it's all based on your feedback, so thanks so much for that. Anyway, right now I'm placing this, like public restroom area, sort of overlooking the bay, which actually doesn't end up overlooking the bay. I have to place a bunch of trees behind it, although I might change that. We'll see. I'm using some of these Mr. Mason grasses that I used in the last episode that are very, very, very detailed, which is a little bit much for Columbia City, but this is going to be a focal point of the city. Oh yeah, I guess we could talk about this. Have I even talked about the fortress? I don't think I have. Yes, we're building a fortress. We're building a fortress in the Pacific Northwest. I have no idea if this is a thing. I have not looked it up. I don't know if these exist in the Pacific Northwest. You're gonna have to let me know in the comments. But if they don't, we can have some sort of alternate history where I don't know what country, like either it's like Russia or the UK, actually has a much heavier hold on the area and actually has to have forts. Although that might actually be the case, and that might be actual history. Let me know. I'd be totally interested. And I can ask Brandon about that as well, because he's a history major. He'd probably be able to help me with this. But from what I know, the fortresses aren't really a thing in the Pacific Northwest. It's not a thing. Like maybe in California you'll have castles like Hearst Castle, which is actually really cool, and I want to go there. But I don't think that fortresses or castles really exist in the Pacific Northwest. Once again, might be wrong. Please do educate me in the comment section down below, because I'd love to know. But yeah, I'm basically just using some of these mossy rocks here. It's basically just an art of trying to combine them in a way where it looks like it's one continuous rock, but having like different textures at different points. Also, if you're wondering what cliff texture I'm using the Cedar Valley texture with the Laviant normal map, because I'm using a Theme Mixer 2 theme, which I haven't fully finalized yet, and I won't be like releasing the exact theme itself. Like obviously patrons have it for their save games, like they have the Theme Mixer 2 like config, but because yeah, like if you're a patron, you get access to the save games and you get all my configs for stuff, but I haven't made that config public yet because I'm not like fully finished with it. But I can actually upload a Theme Mixer 2 preset to the workshop, where it's almost like downloading a map theme, except you have to download a bunch of different map themes at once, which is not extremely efficient, but it allows you to share different combinations, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. But I will do that at some point once I fully finalize it. I'm pretty happy with stuff like my grass texture, my ruins texture, my natural resource textures. I like actually no, I haven't finalized the water texture yet. A bunch of different stuff I have to finalize, but I'll do that, and then that'll be out at some point. But yeah, this is like a vanilla castle I placed. It's literally just from the vanilla game. I think it's like Park Life or something, I don't know. But it's cool. It's like it's like not even a castle, it's like a fortress of some sort. I don't even know the difference between various forms of like terminology here. Like, what's the difference between a fort and a fortress? Let me know. I should probably know these things. I'd assume it's like sort of self-explanatory, as in like a fort would be like Fort Sumter and a fortress would be whatever this is. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Please educate me, because you guys know a lot more than me about a lot of things, and I like to learn from you. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, somebody said recently, like, isn't it annoying when like people from Seattle comment about like local things for Columbia City? I'm like, no, it's awesome. Like, if you're from or if you like have experience with the regions that I'm sort of inspiring my cities by, like, you please let me know stuff in the comments, because or even message me. It's like I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. I really want to go to the Pacific Northwest, but I haven't been there, and the insight I can get from your comments is it's very valuable. So yeah, just definitely keep commenting stuff if you're from the Pacific Northwest. I mean, I've got a little bit more like insight into New England. Like, I used to live there basically, so yeah, but a Pacific Northwest, not as much. Like, this project is a little bit based on just my experiences on Google Earth. That's it. I don't really have any experiences in the region, although I'm really interested in the Pacific Northwest. I really just love the aesthetic of it. And yeah, a lot of the new retrofitting that's going on in cities like Portland and Seattle to, I guess, better accommodate bikes and just have better public transit, stuff like that. Lots of retrofitting going on right now, which is awesome. Very transformative in like Seattle, and I don't know how much Portland's expanding their light rail. I know Seattle's expanding their light rail a lot, and other stuff like BRT, which we're going to build in Columbia, like all that kind of stuff. It's very dynamic. It's a cool region, and that's why I wanted to build it here in City Skylines. I also like trees a lot, and it's another opportunity, just like my New Windsor, my New England city, to place a lot of trees. So I've done that, and there are a lot of trees basically everywhere. And I've developed a tree brush, which has the only deciduous trees are the London plane trees and the live oak trees. But other than that, it's just conifers. And then I'm using the Douglas firs and the Norway spruces. I'm trying to use, somebody commented that to use the Douglas firs more as we move out of the city into the wilderness. So maybe I'll have a modified tree brush for that. But mostly just, yeah, Douglas firs, the new conifers that Greyflame released, which are based on the Douglas firs, I believe, and the Norway spruces. And that's what I'm using, and it's pretty cool. So, yeah, we're quickly detailing the waterfront here. Not fully, but I've placed this park path here, which is going to act as like a trail. This is basically almost at sea level here, meaning it would, in some sort of tsunami situation, it'd be totally decimated. But I'm not, like, I figure that we're just theoretically in a high tide right now in the city, so this is as high as the tide would go. Although, yeah, I could see this getting flooded a lot. In Vancouver, the path in the park that I'm basing this off of it's sort of got this seawall below it. I think it's called a like seawall path or something. But I don't really have a seawall asset to put under here, although I could download that. But I sort of like the more natural aesthetic of like these rocks by Greyflame. Like, yeah, this entire episode is basically like facilitated by Greyflame. Like these rocks, and then the breakwater rocks, which are like edits of Strictoaster's rocks. It's just glorious. I'm really happy with being able to use all these because this looks so much better than it would otherwise, and I was able to build it so much easier. And then I'm also adding like some cracks and stuff here, like this pavement's like not too well maintained, especially considering it probably floods a lot and gets beat up a lot. So adding puddles and stuff like that. And I should probably add some sort of like drainage system, although I figure it would theoretically be on some sort of slope. Like maybe there's a slope that's so gradual we can't really see it, but it does flow into the ocean. That would make sense from an engineering standpoint, from what I understand. But I mean, yeah, that's basically it. This was a totally random episode. We built a fortress. It was cool. I'm actually not going to do any live gameplay today because I don't really have anything to show you. Like, the fortress is going to be shown pretty well in the cinematics, and I don't want to do live gameplay when I don't have to. And also, I mean, you guys can see if it's really essential to the series, or if I could use some sort of alternative, which I'm not going to be using in this video, but I could basically develop as an alternative to the live gameplay, which would take a lot longer to create, but it would be much higher quality. I'm just going to leave you with the cinematics though right now, because I mean, that's what we've got for today. I mean, we didn't really build too much, just this area here, and it was a fun build. It was a really fun build. I don't even understand the historical accuracy of it whatsoever. Probably just totally random, but I had fun, and that's all that matters. So hopefully you did as well. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Helps out a ton. You can subscribe if you're new around here and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified whenever I upload a video so you never miss an upload. If you want to get access to the save game or get videos early, you can follow me on Patreon, support me over there, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram for screenshots and updates and stuff like that. So hopefully you all enjoyed, and hopefully you enjoyed the cinematics. Shorter video today because there's no live gameplay, but yeah, I had fun. Hopefully you did too, and I'll see you next time.